The South African economy grew a mere 0.8% in 2018. Statistics South Africa released the country's fourth quarter GDP on Tuesday, showing a 1.4% rise in growth in the last 3 months of 2018. It's a touch higher than expected, but still a long way off from the growth the country needs. CGTN Sumitra Naidu reports.
There was a sigh of relief when the numbers were released, but no celebration. The South African economy remains under pressure and needs to grow a lot more in order to address real issues of poverty and unemployment.
It was slightly better than what the market was expecting. At 1.4%, the market was looking for 1.2%, so you would say a little bit ahead of expectations, but there's not much in it. The other thing that I think was important in the data is that some of the previous quarters were revised, particularly the third quarter data was revised slightly better. So it means that for 2018 as a whole, South Africa grew at 0.8%. That, I guess, in the end was slightly better than what people were thinking around the middle of last year, where some people had growth down at 0.6%.
Agriculture helped to lift growth in the last quarter of 2018, gaining almost 8%. Transport also did well, and manufacturing is showing signs of a steady recovery. But there are still areas of decline.
Mining, very disappointing, contracting further. Then your sort of domestic trade, which includes your wholesale, retail, motor trade, as well as accommodation and catering, which is your sort of broader tourism industry, your hotels and your restaurants, that contracted, so that was disappointing.
And even though agriculture is showing growth, there may still be some headwinds on the horizon.
The latest crop estimate commit figures suggest that this year's summer crop will be lower than last year, and last year wasn't spectacular. We had the breakout of foot-and-mouth disease among herds in Limpopo, and that obviously will also impact on your animal farming industries. So consequently, you know, it is encouraging that they had a decent quarter in the final quarter of last year, but I think their conditions have already changed for the worst.
The Treasury is forecasting 1.5% growth for 2019. Some economists believe it's ambitious but not unachievable. Electricity supply remains the big concern.
I think for the moment, Moody's is going to focus a little bit more on what's happening around Eskom and the refinancing of Eskom. Is government able to start to implement some of those reforms, particularly some of the cost-cutting reforms? If South Africa cannot improve the growth rate during the course of this year, then it's definitely going to result in further credit rating downgrade.
It's going to be another tough year for South Africa, especially with the slowing global economy. Sumitra Naidu, CGTN, Johannesburg, South Africa.